So you have to thank an uncle you don't like very much, or you're calling off the wedding but you're staying in touch, or your sister's dating someone who's suspiciously gay, or you killed your neighbor's cat and you don't know what to say. Just send your situation in a letter to me, because you've got a greeting card emergency.
Hello and welcome to Greeting Card Emergency. I'm your host, David Ellis Dickerson, author of the memoir House of Cards. This is the second to last Valentine's Day episode of the season, and today I thought we'd talk about breakups and exes. Now, we already talked about, back in episode, I want to say 28, single people on Valentine's Day. But what if you're single recently? You just broke up and the timing was awful, or something like that. I've got a couple cards for that. The first card is for when this happens and your friend is okay with it. It's a cartoon. I don't know if you can see it exactly, but here on one side it has the tunnel of love and people going in. And then on the other side, and you see, oh, the boat has shipwrecked on one side and both have escaped. And there's birds and butterfly and they're thinking, freedom. On the inside it says, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Congratulations. Notice that there's no reference to Valentine's Day, by the way. If you had a breakup on Valentine's Day, that irony goes without saying. That you don't need a painful reminder handed to you in person that you can keep always. You don't want that. Now the second card is for if someone has had a breakup and they're depressed about it and they need some kind of encouragement. This is just one approach. Of course, there are many, but you've got a lot of cards to get through. They always say there's plenty more fish in the sea, and that may be true. But there's also more to life than fishing. Be kind to yourself and wait till you're ready. You deserve it. With love and friendship on Valentine's Day. That will help, I think. The next two cards are cards for exes, and I'm going to assume that you are on good terms with both exes. In fact, this is as good a time as any to explain my system. A lot of times I get requests for people to say, do you have cards that say, hey, I hate you and you suck, and that kind of thing, where you're just angry and you want to write a bitter card. There are plenty of places you can go for that, but they're not sendable cards. They're mostly like jokes about cards. I don't think anyone would actually send it, and I don't want to be party to someone who would. So if you really hate somebody, just carve, screw you on a turd and mail it off. You don't need my help. So this first card is for someone who has just broken up with, has an ex, and the breakup is presumed to be sort of amicable as they can be. And it happened just close enough to Valentine's Day, or you're just thinking about them, that you want to mention this, make some kind of gesture that normally both of you would normally be spending Valentine's Day together. It says, we can't share our lives, but I do share your pain. So I'm sorry today sucks, but things will be better tomorrow. That's what tomorrow is for. I came up with this last card because it's something I'm kind of passionate about, and I like ending on a positive note. If you start dating late in life like I did, you can't really afford to take people for granted. Like, every relationship is kind of a gift. Every relationship is valuable. Even the ones that last a brief period of time, even ones that are kind of crazy. And I often find myself on Valentine's Day thinking back on people I have dated and being really grateful. And so I thought, I can't be the only person who does this, so here's a card to give to exes that you presume you are still on good terms with, who would not be alarmed. I don't want to encourage stalking here, but if you, have a past with someone that you can still talk to, this is a nice card. It says, we've gone separate ways, and that's a good thing, but the memories are good too. And on the inside it says, I'm glad for the part you played in my life, and I just wanted you to know. Happy Valentine's Day. And note, by the way, if you're still in contact with the person on a regular basis, you want to change you to you've. So you is if you're just dropping in after a couple of years absence, but you'll be welcome. You've is, we're continuing to talk on a semi-regular basis. All right, so that's it for this episode. I hope some of these cards are useful to some of you out there, and I hope this has made your day slightly more pleasant.